ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಹಸ್ ಕಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲಿ. ನೋಡಿದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೆಷನ್ ಅದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಆಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯಂಟ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್. ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪೈಲೇಷನ್ ನೋ ಡೌಟ್ 5 ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲಿಂದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಲೇಟರ್. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇದೆ ಆ ಥರ. ಬಟ್ ಓಕೆ, ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯಂಟ್ ಜಾಬ್. ಎಸ್, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ R2R ಸೆಷನ್. 1.5 hour session ಇದು, not 1 hour session. DT cannot be done in 1 hour. So reasonably, let us do it. And especially the DT, IDT, multiple times attend ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು better ಅಂತ we keep telling, isn't it? Calm performers are the highest achievers. So the beautiful quotes, I just loved it. Your response, excellent. Really. So the session 8 to 9:30. We have started little late, 5 minutes, because of waiting for someone. So we'll also conclude late as expected. Push harder than yesterday if you want a different tomorrow. Beautiful one. So if you want a different tomorrow, you have to push little harder than yesterday. Study while others are sleeping. Today, now it's the time for many of them for vacation, raja, holiday. Work while others are loafing. Prepare while others are playing. And dream while others are wishing. So get into the action. There is no substitute for hard work. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. So first 5 minutes generic, around 80 minutes specific subject, then at the end we'll conclude. So first 6 to 10 pages we'll discuss about what to do. Then around 80 pages summary of the elaborative subject, which is also important for IBS. So today's session and tomorrow, that's IDT session, it is also a revision for your IBS subject, which is on Saturday. 2024 amendments applicable for all of you writing up to January 2026. And suggest the answer, ICI MTP is there. Yes. So as we keep telling, don't skip any MCQ, stupid. So if you skip it, direct tax is for 70 marks, international tax is 30 marks, and 70 mark descriptive is for 88 marks. Effectively 14 into 5 questions, 70 plus one extra question. 4 marks choice. That's why effectively 88 marks. So mainly the areas covered. So section 6 is extremely important even now. Section 9, PGBP, capital gains, double taxation avoidance agreement, transfer pricing, MAT, AMT, assessment procedure, TDS appeals, trusts, then 234, etc. Even up to 100 sections. What you thought is intermediate, it is not so. Don't think so. It is also extremely important. Correct sections, Bari. If you don't know, don't write wrong section. So part 1 is about MCQs. Everybody knows. Part 2 is about descriptive. Right. So 100 is the unrealistic estimate in CA when a DT paper. Idealistic scenario. So it's like ideal standards are like dreams of Sophia Loren's Weiss, you know. So desirable but rarely attainable. Okay. I kind of some number 13 cross height. So entire syllabus will be focused. Some areas will be totally unknown. 3 to 8 marks. It's okay. Totally unknown. Even I have told openly. FR probably I may get 100, but DT I cannot cross a 90, 95, even if I write with the proper preparation. So you as a student, if you got 90 plus, extraordinary. Okay. Read the questions carefully, answer to the point. Like they will say, so the following are the adjustment in P&L. That means it's already adjusted in P&L. So then consider the same. Whereas if they say additional information, that means these are the information which are not in P&L, so not inside the class. So then accordingly consider. R2R session ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. R2R session ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ನನಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Right. So working notes are very, very important while solving the numericals, and clearly mention the assumption made because material only says specifically. So the normal pattern, May 24, November 24, earlier, I think 4 to 5 exams, same pattern almost. Only 1 or 2 sub-questions interchange ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So Chandan Hegde takes the responsibility as confirmed again. Recent exam. First question, last 20 years probably same. Total income with the AMT irbodu, MAT irbodu, then partnership form irbodu, total income with analytical. That's always the question. Second question can be firm, LLP, 10AA, capital gain with amendments applet, residential status and total income computation, etc. Then trust matte 91 body. Say these questions may be interchanged. Some are second, third, etc. Then TDS, TCS, compulsory question, transfer pricing, 92C, etc. Then IPAC based analytical question on 254 TDS, etc. Last question is normally international taxation, theory or interpretation, GAR, OECD model, etc. And also professional misconduct. So straight away from 5 star, ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ತಾಜ್ ಬಂದಂಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಲ್ವೇನ್ರೋ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ನು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗುಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ನನಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತು. ಸೊ ಐ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮೈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈನ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಸಮೇತ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಇದೆ. ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ this is the discussion of budget 24. Budget 25 ಏನು, even those who are writing up to Jan 27 ವರೆಗೂ 90% ಸೇಮ್. January 26 ಗೆ ಸೇಮ್, Jan 27 ವರೆಗೂ 90% ಸೇಮ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ಲಿ an amendment of budget 25. Budget 25 amendment ಅನ್ನು ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್. ಸೊ income tax is the tax on total income earned by LSP during the previous year, chargeable to tax investment year. So CA final ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕೇಳೋರೆ ಉಮಾ, who is an SSC ಅಂತ, 2 within bracket 7. SSC means a person who is liable to tax or any other sum under this act, ... Then 27 ಗೆ 231 connection ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. Okay, who is a person? There are 7 categories of inclusive persons: individual, HF, company, firm, AOP, BY, local authority, AJP, not falling in the above category. Then PY is normally 12 months. Exceptions: new source of income or new business in the middle of the year. Whereas AY is always 12 months. Income of the PY is chargeable to tax in AY, but exceptions are slab B. So in the following 5 cases, so 132, 136, etc. So income of the previous year is chargeable in previous year itself by applying the current previous year tax rate. Next, liable to tax, extremely important definition, 229A. So you are liable to tax in a country, even subsequently if there is an exemption given, you are still called liable to tax. Next, charge of income, section 4. Capital receipts are normally not chargeable unless specifically included. Revenue receipts are normally chargeable unless specifically exempted. Compensation received for termination of employment is a capital receipt. It is included, 17.3 read with 17.1. Whereas agriculture income in India, Nikita, is revenue receipt. It is excluded because of the section 10.1 specific exemption. Next. So rebate, 87A rebate. So normal case only 5 lakh rupees, old regime only up to 5 lakh. 5 lakh and 4 rounded off to 5 lakh. Be careful MCQ only. So then you get 87A rebate. Whereas 5 lakh 5 and above, it will become 5 lakh 10. And 5 lakh 10 ಗೆ old regime only 87A rebate ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Whereas new regime only up to 7 lakh ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. However, there is a margin relief concept. So it comes to 7,22,222. So effectively, it should be 7,22,220. Then up to that, you'll get a margin relief because even for 87A, we have margin relief. And old regime only 12,500, new regime only 25,000. 25,000 is the rebate. And old and new, both 112A get 87A rebate ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Because already tax rate is lower, relaxation ಬೇರೆ 1 lakh 1,25,000 ಇದೆ. You want again one bidder. So that's why 87A rebate is not available for 120. And 87A rebate is only for resident individual. Resident includes R and OR as well as R but NOR. Next, agriculture income 21A. So then recent like present batch discuss ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. Agriculture income 21A exempt under section 10.1. Then rule 7A, 7B, 8 and rule 7 respectively rubber, coffee, tea. So partly agriculture, partly business income. 65-35, 75-25, 60-40-40. Whereas coffee ಗೆ ಇದು ಕೇಳಿ at least somewhere ಎಲ್ಲೋ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಕಾಫಿ ಟೀ ರೋಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡೆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ then again ಅದಕ್ಕೂ 60-40. Whereas other activity, sunflower in the sunflower oil ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ fair market value will be added to RP agriculture income and deducted from the business income. Right. Then 33ABA also will be discussed subsequently. So 10.1 agriculture income is completely exempt. Partial integration only for slab SSCs with B, because the objective of partial integration is pushed to the next slab. Whereas cooperative society, no BL Chennai. When there is no BA, there cannot be a partial integration. 2 conditions: agriculture income should be more than 5,000 and non-agriculture income should be above basic exemption limit applicable. Next, so section 6 extremely important even now. ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು 10 ಸಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Individual 6-1, 182 days or more. I'm talking very short. I hope all of you are able to catch. I may not be framing in sentences. I'm talking in words because Microsoft has still not released the sentence. So they have got only MS Word now. That's why I'm also going with words. Chinmay and the ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿ right. So 6 within the bracket 1, 182 days or more you stayed in India, you are called resident, or 60 days plus 365 days in the earlier 4 years, you are also called resident. Exception to 60 days, you being an Indian citizen, when you're leaving India, you are a Indian citizen. So 182 days, full stop, no more discussion. Whereas you are an Indian citizen, Vijeta married to the South African Ujavo. So when coming to India, she may continue to be an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. And only her case, Indian total income is relevant. When Chandan is leaving, why should I bother about Indian total income? So when Vijeta, Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, there are 3 generations, they come to India on a visit, 2 RMRs. If the Indian total income, the correct word is total income excluding from foreign sources, okay? Received in India, earned in India, including deemed, plus income from a business or profession outside India, but controlled or set up in India, then those incomes, if it is more than 15 lakh, more than, equal to Allah, more than 15 lakh, then 120 days has to be substituted for 60 days. 120 plus 365 days. In all other cases, 182 days is the condition. Only one extra important calculation, be careful. I told you n number of times about this. So when you do the calculation, Indian income, let us say salary received in India minus standard action, 14 lakh. 14 lakh. Then 2 lakh rupees you have income in Japan, controlled from India. So 16 lakh. Now 2 RMS. He stays for 120 days, other 121 days, he is the resident. Because 120 days plus 365 days, above 15 lakh, he is the resident. He is going to be R but NOR under section 6 within the bracket 6 within the bracket C, and his total income continues to be 16 lakh. Chandan. Whereas he stays for 119 days, then 120 days condition is not satisfied. He will become a non-resident. His total income is 16 minus 2 lakh, only 14 lakh. This is on the point and note point. CA final is important. Then if you are not satisfying 6-1, then you have to go to 6-1 here. You being an Indian citizen, matra, you are settled outside India mainly. So if you have got, again, Indian total income more than 15 lakh and not liable to tax in any other country by whatever reason, irrespective of the number of days, you are called deemed resident. 66D, you will become R but NY. Once you are a resident, section 6.6 only. So clause A, last 10 years, you are a non-resident for 9 out of 10 years. Atava, last 729 days, you should have stayed for 729 days or lesser, 7 years. Then you are called R but NOR. All other cases, you are called R and OR. Fine. Next, 6.3, Indian companies always resident in India. Other companies, when the poem is in India, important, international taxation as well as normal taxation, place of effective management, okay? And key managerial commercial decisions are taken in India, then you are called resident. Otherwise, you are non-resident. And the international taxation on the calculation, the salary, etc., based how poem is calculated. Then solve mark okay before go to the exam. Okay. Number revision material is Chandan doesn't confirm on okay, right. So all other cases, HF, firm, etc., part of the management controls in India, resident, 100% outside India, non-resident. Individual and HF, there are 3 categories. Where all other cases only 2 categories. So R but NOR and R and OR both are residents. That's why 87A rebate is available. Clear? Section 5, based on the resident status. If an R and OR, or simply R, global income is chargeable. Non-resident, only 2 incomes, received plus deemed to be received, earned plus deemed to accrue in India. R but NOR is resident for all purpose. For this purpose, I said taxation is like non-resident plus income from business controlled in India or what? In my profession, set up in India, shall be chargeable tax in India. So, section 1, short title commencement extent. 2 definitions, 3, 234, section 3, previous year, 4 charge, 5 scope, 6 resident status, 7 deemed to be received in India, 3 incomes. Annual accretion to RPF, transferred balance in RPF, employer contribution to ETCC, all the 3 copy paste under section 17.1. Salary end add matter. Salary includes all the 3. Nikita Varnekar. Section 9 deemed to accrue in India. Hold on. Section 8. 8 talks about dividend chargeability. So dividend, 3 kinds of dividend. Final dividend, AGM or declare agodo. Interim dividend, in between 2 AGM. So 222, very important, highly expected question. 222 is a deemed dividend. Even though it defines what dividend, it is actually Kanisha deemed dividend. AD to the power B, L or L plus B. So A is distribution of assets. AD, debenture certificate, deposits, etc. giving. To the power B andre bonus to preference shareholders. Liquidation of companies, reduction of capital. Then buyback, last one which has been added. All cases, any company, any shareholder, any percentage. Whereas 222E, only for Chandan, wrote down. X company, company in which public are not substantially interested, 2 RMRs. Uma holding 10% or more, she takes a loan. Or Uma holds 10% or more in the company. Uma Varnekar and company, formally she holds 20% or more. If the loan is given to the firm, in the hands of Uma, it's taxable, but 3 conditions. There should be a company for entire 222, there should be accumulated profit. And in 222E, you should be holding 10% or more, or 10% plus 20%. Last clause, F, buyback of security, what call it? From 1/10/2024. I'm so thankful to the R2R revision classes, the sequence. Yesterday only, intermediate income tax. So, I don't even have to remember, not that I forget the dates, but I don't have to remember easily because yesterday's cannot be forgotten so easily by Shetty sir. Only you people can do it. I cannot. So, hi bro. So, even Goa se abhi foundation mein do bache hai. Bache log. Okay. Right. So, 1st October 24, mantra matra 2 hours. Before 1st October 24, buyback was not deemed dividend. It was coming under the no dividend. So be careful with this data. September 24 of the contract, it had a 46A normal computation of capital gain. Buyback amount received minus the cost of the indexed cost. Whereas if it is on or after 1/10/2024, entire amount received is a deemed dividend under section 222F. And whatever the cost of shares will lead to capital loss. Whatever the shares you held lead to capital loss. Are you clear, crystal clear? And same, there are 2 major dates you have to remember. 1/10/24. From what is called Nidde Niddeleko agate. Yen heltira? Alagalagi. ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇವಳು ಮದುವೆನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ರೆಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅಲ್ವೇನೆ. So 1/10/24, 2 important dates. One is about buyback. Then majority of the TDS provisions where they slash the TDS rates, commission related in both. So 184H, 184G, etc. Most of those dates are from 1/10/2024. Earlier, all the commission rates are 5%. From 1/10/24, the commission rates are 2%. Are you clear? Like that, some other changes also happened. The TDS problem. That's the first date. One more date is what called capital gains. 23rd July.
On or after 23rd July.
On or after 23rd July. July is the CA day. 1st July. 1st July agilla. Okay. 23rd inge. So the person who is teaching you, 24th is the birthday. And official record prakara 22nd is the birthday. In between 22nd alla 24th alla. ನಾನು 22nd ನೀವು ಬೀಚ್ ಯಾವುದು 23rd July. ಹೆಂಗೆ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೋದಾ? ವಿಜೇತಾ 23rd July ಆನರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಧನ್ಯ ಬಂದು ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡಿರಿ. ಒಂದು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ. ನೋಡ್ಕೊ. Yeah. So on or after 23rd July, there are the 2 dates you have to remember. Right. Section 9, 2 RMRs. 9(2), Article 314, Constitution of India, pension, not deemed to accrue. 9(1), Clause I. Hold on. 9(2), salary if it is earned in India, including rest period, leave period. Japani fellow come here. 9(1)(3), Indian citizen, Government of India, embassy outside India. Then perquisites and allowance are exempted, deemed to accrue in India. 914, dividend paid by an Indian company outside India. So, again, section 8 ಅಲ್ಲಿ chargeability, final dividend in the year of declaration, interim dividend in the year of actual receipt, unconditionally made available, 222 in the year of distribution, etc. Pfizer Corporation case, where when the dividend is payable outside India, income in the year in which RBI gives permission, PFI is that, okay, and not in the year of declaration. That is a special case, you have to remember. Okay, Uma? Next. So 9, 1, 5, 6, and 7. Interest royalty FTS, important even for TDS international taxation. Interest payable by government of India, full stop. Bill printer ge kotre rupa, hi rupa, R2R session alla, il nodi. Yeah. So interest payable by government of India to anyone is income. Interest payable by resident, no income only when it is used outside India for any business, profession, or anything else. Interest payable by non-resident, income only when that non-resident uses for business or profession in India. If he uses for anything else, no income in India. Understanding? Right. Next. Royalty ಮತ್ತು FTS ಅಲ್ಲಿ same, only thing is non-resident case ಅಲ್ಲಿ royalty ಮತ್ತು FTS ಅನ್ನ if they use it for any other activity also in India, it is going to be deemed to occur as India. 918 clause by clause ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಿದು is only for the monetary gifts, non-monetary ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Monetary gifts payable outside India also coming under this provision 224(17)(a. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 17 ಮತ್ತು 18 ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಸ್ಕಿ ಏಜ್, ಮಂಗನ್ ತರ ಇರೋ ಏಜ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಏಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, 17 and 18 ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೀನೇಜ್ ಇದು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಟೀನೇಜ್ ಇದು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ತಿಕ್ಕಲ್ರ್ ಆಗೋ ಏಜ್ ಅಂತ, ತಿಕ್ಕಲ್ರು ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಫೆಲೋಸ್ ಆಗೋಂಥ ಏಜ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 70 ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. So 17, what Nikita, she also understood. Look at it. So 17 and 18, 17A, 224(17)(a, read with 56 total. Only for monetary gifts outside India, non-monetary ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. That is also deemed to occur arise in India. 911, income from business connection in India, income from asset in India, any source of income in India, capital asset transfer, everything is income in India. Explanation 1, exceptions to business connection. Mainly following explanations are business connections. Okay, it is connected to a permanent establishment outside. Most of the Article 5 of the international taxation. Okay, Article 5 of DTA. So exception, explanation 1, CPNCD. So in these cases, no income arises in India. Explanation 2 defines what is business connection. Suviksha, hi. So business connection is basically a non-resident carries out the activity through an agent in India. Okay. So CSO, concluding contract, maintaining stock, securing orders habitually, then it is a business connection. 2A, significant economic presence, about 2 crore rupees, or greater than 3 lakh number of activity, income in India. So again, 3 and even previous case, proportionate activity, partly activity carried out in India, proportionate. Okay. As you know, online only advertisement to digital. Okay, so if you're soliciting etc., it is also deemed to occur arise in India. 4, time pass, means, by means of, in consequence of, by reason of, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಥ್ರೂ ನಲ್ಲಿ. 5, 6, 7 Vodafone case. So when a share which is registered outside India, share, stake, etc., registered outside India is transferred outside India, it leads to income in India, provided, 2 conditions, provided, it derives its value substantially from assets located in India. Wordings used is substantial. Explanation 2 early, significant, illi substantial. So explanation 5. What is substantial? Explanation 6 says, 2 RMRs. The total value of the asset should be more than 10 crore and it should constitute more than equal to 50% of the total assets in India. Next. 7 says, in the last 12 months, be careful, last 12 months, if you are holding lesser than or equal to 5% in MCC, Management, Capital and Control, this section not applicable. So if you are holding 6% and if you are sold 1%, 2%, 5%, doesn't matter, this section is attracted. This section attracted. Yes. 9A, fund manager, income arises, income may not arise, no income arises, 9A, okay, income may not arise, okay, subject to certain conditions. 9B, 45(4) ಮತ್ತು 9B. Whenever there is a distribution of asset by a partnership firm on dissolution, etc., there is special computation mechanism go through. Important, 9B. Section 10, 11, 12, okay, 10 to 13, 13A, 13B are exemptions. Charitable trust, 2 within bracket 15, charitable purpose, definition important. Charitable purpose mainly includes 2 RMRs. Left side, PEM, poverty, eradication of poverty, education relief, medical relief, then yoga, conservation of places of artistic interest, etc. They are all coming in left side. For this, any business you do, any crores together business, and if you flow back the same, it is still a charitable activity. Right side, any other object of GPU, general public utility, anything else other than the left side, if it comes, there, then you will have, then you have another network issue. You can video off model. Network issue, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's off mode, on mode. It's okay. Right. So if anybody is having network issue, I don't know why today reading illala. Network issue off mode, on mode. So now coming back. So any other object of GPU. What is GPU? General public utility. In that cases, you should not carry the business. If you are carrying the business of commercial trade or business nature, they words barbeko, Suparna. In that case, it should not constitute more than 20% of the gross receipts of the entity as a whole. The charitable trust total receipts 100 lakh in there. You cannot have a business receipt more than 20 lakh. So if it's a 10 lakh, 15 lakh chiller amount, immaterial, they say it is okay. First point. Then charitable purpose, 2 RMRs again. One is cash foundation, pure charitable institution, where whatever the donation, etc. received, let's say 100 lakh, less 11 within the bracket 1 within the bracket A, 15% straight away exemption. So 100 lakh minus 15%. So 85 lakh less applied for charitable purpose. So let us say purchase of asset, fixed asset, depreciation barodilla. Assuming you have spent 82.5 lakh, 85 minus 82.5, 2.5 lakh to the total income, which is below taxable limit because it is AJP. Up to 2.5 lakh, you get a relaxation, no tax. So effectively, 15 plus 15% plus 2.5 lakh, if you are not spent also, tax payable is 0. Have you understood the beauty? Then yeah, 15%, 17.5% 15% plus 2.5 lakh. Okay, right. So you'll get a complete relaxation. Next, second category. So Bhagavan Jain Trust, the college, they will also write if the trust is running a college, they are what you call having education institution, hospitals, etc. Then total receipts of the institution minus expenses incidental to that institution. Jyoti Education Center ಅಂತೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. So expenses, other differential amount. So after removing expenses plus donation, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 15% exemption. So then everything else is same. Then connected topics, 115 TD, accreted income. So charitable trust, etc. should not default. There are some condition there. If you default the same, maximum marginal rate. Last 1 or 2 example, but otherwise every example, but accreted income. So assets minus external liability, whatever, let's say a charitable trust getting merged with another trust which is of not a similar objective, etc. So in that case, assets minus liability at the market value, differential amount will be taxed at a maximum marginal rate, MMR. Maximum marginal rate is the highest rate applicable to individual. So 30% plus 37% surcharge plus 4%. So some places they mention maximum surcharge should be 25%. So it is one of the study material 25% surcharge ಅಂತ mention ಮಾಡಿ old new ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ discussion ಇಲ್ಲ. Going good till now?
Yes,
sir.
Now there is no DDT concept. Yes. So salary chapter glance ಮಾಡಿ. So salary 10-10 gratuity 20 lakh is the limit. Then 10-10A commuted pension. 10-10A now it become change ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಚಂದನ್, it's 25 lakh. 10 lakh ಅಲ್ಲ 3 lakh ಅಲ್ಲ 25 lakh ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾವು ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ವಿ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲ 25 lakh ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Then HRA, everybody gets an exemption. HRA, government, non-government difference ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು go through ಮಾಡಿ. Then official allowance, city hard, conveyance, travel, etc. Per diem allowance, etc. Minus amount received minus amount spent is taxable. Then personal allowance, received minus amount prescribed, 100 per month per child up to maximum 2 children. So education, hostel allowance 300 per month. Transport allowance, normal people sigodilla. If there are disabled people, totally blind, 3,200 per month exemption ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So ಇದೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು 1015B ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So whenever if foreign company as the lease rental, okay, subject to certain conditions, okay, here what is mentioned here, these amounts are also exempted. So this operates a ships under section 44 BBC ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ section ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ exempted. 1034A ಅಲ್ಲಿ buyback exemption ಇತ್ತು. Now since buyback has become deemed dividend, no exemption. Buyback related ಎಲ್ಲ go through ಮಾಡಿ. 1023C is like 11 to 13 only. ತಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. Right. Heads of income, section 14. So once it comes under one head of income, it cannot come under another head of income. 14A, expenditure related to exempted income shall not be claimed against the taxable income. Rule 80 maintained. So income from salaries, 3 sections, 15, 16, 17. 15 is CD, chargeability, due wages, accrual alla illi, due wages. So RT appoint me as an employee, saying that your salary is payable after 5 years. So first 5 years no income, only the 6th year at our receipt, whichever is earlier. Next, myself and Umar, partner in a partnership firm. Salary received by a partner from a partnership firm is not salary. It is income from business under section 28 clause 5. Then 16 deductions. 16 1A, old regime only 50,000, new regime only 75,000. 75,000 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Same way family pension income from other sources, old regime only 1/3 or 15,000, new regime 25,000, whichever is less. Next, coming back 16 to entertainment allowance, government or non-government, first add ಮಾಡಿ, deduction only for government, 1/5 of the basic pay, actual received, statute limit of 5,000. 16.3, professional tax or tax on employment, borne by the employer, add and deduct, borne by the employer, deduct. 17 definitions, 17.1 is salary, 17.2 is perquisite, 17.3 is profit of salary, perquisites on a glance purple hold. Next, house property. So 2 categories of house property. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ section 91 relief ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. 1013 ಇರಬಹುದು, all those 91 relief ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, salary received ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, right? So 2 are amounts. House property chapter, there are 2 kinds of property. One is 23(2) properties, ಅಥವಾ lettered properties. 23(2) ನಲ್ಲಿ one house or part of the house ಅಥವಾ 2 houses, both self-occupied, annual value nil. Both are in Sirsi, but my job is in Bangalore. I am staying in rented house, annual value nil. Whereas one house I have in Hosur, self-occupied, could not be occupied. One house I have in Bangalore, both are, first house is could not be occupied. Second, I am staying in a own house in Bangalore. Hosur house is not exempt. Okay, till January 2026 exam. After January 2026 exam, both are exempted. 2025 amendment. Did you hear? Yes. Next, Hosur house question. So next, so 23(2) property, annual value is nil, municipal tax is not deduct. Only deduction is interest on loan, normally 30,000 for ACRQ, acquisition, construction, major repair, renewal, reconstruction. However, if it is for AC, loan taken on after 1/4/1999, not out of the 1/4/99, okay, and construction is completed within 5 years from the end of the financial year in which the loan is borrowed, okay, then interest can go up to 2 lakh. Additionally, under 80EEA, old regime, you will also get 1,50,000 rupees. 80EEA extra 1,50,000 reduction is available. Right. Next, 2 lakh rupees loss ಬರ್ಬೋದು 23(2) property. So it is any loss under house property, let out ಅಥವಾ self occupied, 71(3)A ಪ್ರಕಾರ any other head of income maximum you can deduct only 2 lakh. Carry forward any number of years, but 8 years. Carry forward 8 years, adjust only against the house property income. Clear? Whereas let out property, GAV compute ಮಾಡಿ, MRV or FRV, whichever is higher, this one ಅಥವಾ standard rent, whichever is less, actual rent received or receivable for 12 months minus unrealized rent, subject to rule 4 conditions, tenancy bona fide, then tenant should have vacated the property, etc. So then whichever is higher, if E is equal to D, less vacancy allowance, this is called GAV, less municipal tax paid anywhere in the world, including outside India, Venugopal Reddy versus CIT, Madras High Court decision, net annual value, 2 reductions, 24 small a, 30%, 24b, any amount of interest is allowed. 22 charging, 23 annual value, only 23.5. I am a real estate businessman. So construction complete agi, a year bit plus next 2 years, no DLOP concept. After 2 years, DLOP comes into picture. So DLOP is more than 2 properties when you have. So 2 are taken as nil. All the properties are deemed to be let out. And calculation is in the usual manner. So next, 24 is deduction, 25 no deduction, interest payable outside India, no deduction if TDS is not made within Chapter 17B due date. 25A, special point, even though I am not the owner, unrealized rent received at the arrears of rent received minus 30% taxable. 26, myself and Shreya are the co-owners. 60-40 ratio specific, individually taxable, otherwise taxable as AO. 27, owner. Transfer of a property to a spouse without consideration or without having agreement with the offer. Minor children not being married daughter. Married daughter minor agidru, she will be the owner. Disputed ownership, etc. 1 minute breathing break. Next one, most important head of income, PGB. So 20, chapter 40, chapter number 2 RMRs. If receipts and payments account of the cash book is given, you have to go by cash method of accounting, 145.1. Okay. Receipts minus number 1, expenses allowable under section 30 to 37.1. Number 2, depreciation under section 30. This is the taxable professional income, normally professional. Whereas P&L account or IND account is given, whatever is given, start with the net profit, then disallowed expense add money if it is debited to P&L, then deduct allowable expenditure, which is not deducted already. Then business incomes not credited to P&L account, add money. Non-business incomes which are wrongly credited to P&L account, minus money. This is the format. So which are the expenses then allowed? 30 to 37.1. 28 is the charging section. 28. So I'm going to glance body. 29 says compute like this. 30 R cube TI of the building. 31 repairs and insurance of machinery, etc. 32 depreciation, 2 RMRs. SLM option given for power generating or generating of distributing. 100 lakh is the cost into appendix 1 year rate. 180 days condition is applicable for all, including SLM. 100 lakh minus depreciation claim days till date is 70 lakh. Book value is 30 lakh. If it is sold at 26 lakh, 4 lakh is called terminal depreciation. If it is a written off in the books of account, otherwise it is not allowed. Next, 30 lakh ನಾನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಓಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ so 30 lakh book value is sold at 35 lakh. 5 lakh is called balancing charge. So 41 only business income. Sold at 120 lakh. 120 minus 100 lakh is called 50 capital A, capital gain. Normally short term. Balance is called balancing charge. Next, WDV based on the block of asset. Block of asset 211, 2 RMRs. Tangible asset being building machinery, furniture and plant. Intangible asset being KPDCL airport, 25% rate. Telecommunication license with spectrum will be Barodilla because we have got 35 ABB and 35 ABA respectively. All the 5 category and having same rate of depreciation. Office building 10%, residential building 5%, both building but 2 different blocks. Plant 15%, machinery 15%, same rate, 2 different block. So computer 40%, printer 40%, scanner 40%, professional being association 40%, all of them will become what? And then 40% single block. Clear? Right. So then once in the block of asset, you have to go by what? WDV for each block. Open in WDV, as on first step, add actual cost, visualize ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, actual cost. Under that, If it is before 4th October, I think 4th October the date ನೆನಪಿದಂಗಿದೆ. So 3rd October and before is there, you have to visualize blue ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. Blue ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ visualize, you cannot write in the exam. 4th October and onwards, correct ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ examಗೆ? 4th October and onwards is 180 days. Okay, less than 180 days ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 180 days ಅಲ್ಲ, less than 180 days. So 4th October red ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ visualize ಮಾಡಿ. Then less sale value, less insurance money for complete destruction, WDV 2 RMRs. Less than 180 days, red ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ visualize ಮಾಡಿ. Immediately right side ಅಲ್ಲಿ more than equal to 180 days, black ink ಅಲ್ಲಿ balance figure, double underline. Left side, D1, whatever the figure left side into 15% sale into half. D3, only if you are a manufacturing concern, absolutely new plant and machinery used in the factory for manufacturing purpose. D3 into 20% into half. Ali hashtag haki, the same amount will be allowed in the immediate next year because you use for less than 1 days. Right side D2, whatever the balance WDV into 15%. D4, D4, not balance. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ಲೂ ಇಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಡಿಷನ್ ಬರೋದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಬ್ಲೂ ಇಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ 20% ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ WDV ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಸೊ ಇಫ್ block ceases to exist, either all assets are sold or the consideration exceeds WDV, section 50 comes into picture. 32 within the bracket 2, all depreciation unabsorbed ಆದರೆ it can be carried forward any number of years, added to the depreciation of the current year and adjusted against any income except salary income 71(2). Whereas same provision for 35(4), unabsorbed capex. So if you are into the 40% of the profits of such business, whichever is less shall be allowed as reduction. So, and deposited in what? Nikita, chai. So assuming 60% is agriculture income exempt, first 33 ABA, ಮತ್ತೆ ಟಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತೇನೆ ಸುಪರ್ಣ ಚೈತ್ರ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ 100 lakh less 33 ABA 40% or deposit amount whichever is less 40 lakh. Difference is 60 lakh, 2 RMRs. 60% is agriculture income which is exempt, whereas 40% is what? Business income. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಏನೋ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ರೈಟ್. ದೆನ್ amount deposited there should be withdrawn and used only for the purpose. If you use for something else, it is going to be taxable the next year. Withdraw ಮಾಡಿದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು for a specified purpose. Even if you are purchasing and using for a non-depreciable asset, but as per the scheme notified, it is a allowed as a reduction, no deemed profit coming. Then section 35, scientific research. 43 has 6 definition. Actual cost, 41, cost incurred less subsidy. And you have to go to India's 16, that with India's 38. Okay, PP definition, intangible asset, subsidy, etc. Same thing. Then exchange fluctuation, special point here. 43 to paid ಅಥವಾ incurred. 43 plant, a chart protocol, depreciable, so which is not a building machinery furniture. 43(4) scientific research. Extension of knowledge in any field of science, natural and applied, including agriculture, animal husbandry, fishing. Then 43(5) speculative transaction otherwise than based actual delivery. 43(6) WDV. Scientific research expenditure, section 35. Revenue expenditure 35(11) fully allowed. 35(14) capex except land allowed. Earlier 3 years expenditure fully allowed in the current year. Revenue ದಲ್ಲಿ raw material plus salary excluding perpetuity. Any donation given to any approved institution 100% allowed. 35(1A) prakar you submit statement, certificate, etc. Otherwise you'll be having a 200 rupees fees you have to pay. Okay, for the default what you do either here or under section 8EG. Then 35(2AB), if you are a company, in-house R&D if you do of biotechnology or manufacture of article or things other than given in the 11th schedule, you will be given a what you call the 100% reduction for scientific research of revenue plus capex except land and building. Next, 35(AD), 14 specified business which square FB S square, you will be given a 100% reduction in the year of incurring capex capex, except LGF, and unabsorbed loss can be carried forward for next any number of years to be adjusted only against those 14 businesses. Next, Ali 35 ADA 7A, 7B, 7C, extremely important. 7A, that asset should not be used for any other purpose. Okay. So if you are sold, discarded, then amalgamation expenditure, VRS compensation expenditure purely on payment basis, or actual business expense, whichever is lesser. However, if it is an Indian company, capital employed of 5% cost of budget, capital employed, whichever is higher, can be considered. Then 36 other kanji expense, bonus, commission, so bonus, commission, employer contribution, etc. ETCCD, if you are under new regime, 14% is allowed for employer contribution. That was special chart is there. Go through one. Then 36(2) condition for bad debts. Then only 31(7) allowed. 31(7)(a) RBD provisions for a banking company, NBFC, etc. Banking company, etc. Normally 8.5% of the gross total income. For NBFC, etc. only 5%. Then 31(8) special reserve. If you are providing long-term finance, so IDBI giving loan for industrial development, AIIH/R, agriculture, industry, infrastructure, housing, or residential houses, then whatever the reserve created, or 20% of profit of such business, whichever is less, is allowed as a reduction under section 31(8). However, once the reserve balance exceeds twice the paid up capital and general reserve, no more deductions. Important, 31(8). 37(1), 4+1 conditions satisfied. So all expenses are allowed. 3 conditions not. Yaudu, not covered under 30-36, not a capital expenditure, not a personal expenditure, plus incurred during the previous year, only and exclusively for the business, fully allowed. Explanation below that, fines and penalties against the law not allowed. CSR expenditure, here it is not allowed. Under 35 CC, 35 CCC, agriculture extension budget, etc. allowed. Whereas here it is not allowed. We have the 135, CSR expense. Then Indian Medical Association, new amendment last year, has prohibited doctors from taking the gifts, etc. If your company legally, if you give it also, it is immoral, it shall be disallowed. 37(2)(b), advertisement in a political party journal, important. This is also 37 is the bracket 2B. Advertisement in a political party journal, tract, pamphlet, magazine, etc. fully allowed. Sonia Gandhi journal allowed. Congress side disallowed. 38, building partly used for business, proportionately allowed. 39, omitted. (40) onwards, no reduction. 40 small a, TDS default, payable outside India or non-resident in India, other than salary, 100% disallowed. 40A1A, any payment in India to a resident, 30% disallowed. Then equalization levy, if you are not done, 100% disallowed. All the 3 cases, due date is 139(1). 40A1, 40A1A, 48. For equalization levy, 131 due date. 43B, 131 due date, except 43BH, that is basically micro and small enterprises. Then employer contribution to RPF, etc. All cases 131 due date. Paid later, it is allowed in the subsequent year of payment. Whereas 40 small a within the bracket III, salary payable outside India or to a non-resident in India, 100% disallowed if you are not on the TDS, as per 17B due date. 17B due date is 7th of the next month or 30th April for March expenditure. Permanently disallowed if you delay by 1 day also. 40 small b, highly expected this time. So because of the amendment, partnership firm, section 184, if it is satisfying the condition of certified true copy, etc., it is called PFES. 40 small b says deduction is given to Aramas. Interest on any amount advanced by the partner. Understand now, Kando? Interest on any amount advanced. Capital, current account loan. Simple interest at 12% as per the deed, whichever is less. Whereas remuneration only to working partner, So he is allowed. Salary, fees, commission by whatever and what. Book profit compute model. There are two book profits in your income tax notes. One is book profit under 40B. It means as per chapter 4D, add less smart money. After allowing interest to partner, but before allowing remuneration to partner. That is the so ಇಲ್ಲಿ special point is brought forward 32 to brought forward 35 ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So because it comes under chapter 4, that is the one line ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯಾಕೋ ಅದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಸ್ಟುಪಿಡ್ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಇಟ್. 2 minutes ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕನಿಷಾ ಏನೇ ಹೌದಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಹೇಳು, ಅವ್ನು ಬಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ whatever the remuneration etc allowed, okay, shall be remuneration allowed. Will be business income to partner. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ನಾನು ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. 18% interest is debited, 12% is allowed. That means Libika 12% is going to be income in the hands of the partner. Whatever is allowed is going to be income. Next 40 capital A. Hold on. 48 payment to relatives. So Danya and Chinmay, both of them are working in my firm. Danya is my relative, Chinmay is not. So Chinmay ಎಷ್ಟು amount ಕೊಟ್ಟರು allowed, where Danya unreasonable amount is disallowed. Next, about 10,000 in a day to a person in aggregate. About 10,000 in a day to a person in aggregate. So 3 RMS. If it is a capex, second proviso to 43.1. ನೆನಪಿಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Second proviso to ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 1 lakh cap computer, 12,000 paid by cash, 88,000 is the cost. It is either for depreciation calculation or 35 AD, scientific, all kade same provision applicable. Second provision bರುತ್ತೆ. Okay. Next, revenue expense, purchase 4 lakh, 12,000 paid by cash, 4 lakh is disallowed. Pride 10,000 ಬದಲು 35,000 rupees is the limit. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Whereas this year it is allowed. Next year if I pay about 10,000 rupees, say 12,000, only 12,000 is going to be deemed profit under section 40A3A. 40A3A. 41 deemed profit. 41.1 recovery of expense etc. to the expense allowed earlier. 41.2 balancing charge. 41.3 scientific research expenditure. Scientific research asset on a sale ಮಾಡುವಾಗ profit on sale or the reduction claim whichever is less. 41.4 bad debts recovered to the extent allowed earlier. This is a very commonly asked question. 2021, I claimed bad debts of 10 lakh. Assessing officer allowed 7 lakh. 24-25, ultimately recovered 2 lakh. In 24-25, 1 lakh and deduct ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. That means another 1 lakh is not going to be recovered. It's important question 5 times. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. 2021, I claimed 10 lakh. ITO allowed 7 lakh. 24-25, ultimately recovered 2 lakh. That means 3 lakh was not allowed earlier. 3 lakh should have been recovered, but you recovered only 2 lakh. Balance 1 lakh. Ultimately recovered the word ಬಂದ್ರೆ 1 lakh rupees has to be allowed this year. Whereas 2021, 7 lakh was allowed out of 10 lakh. If I recover in 24-25, say 8 lakh. So to the extent allowed earlier, how much was allowed earlier? 7 lakh. It is going to be a deemed profit. Ultimately ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 lakh rupees ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? 41. Next, 42 prospecting mineral etc. 43 definition. Then 43A exchange fluctuation. 43AA related provision. ICD is related. 43B 8 items plus 1. So 8 items ಯಾವುದು important again. 2 government related. Any indirect taxes, municipal taxes, number 1. Use of Indian Railways, 2 government related. Plus 3 employer related. Bonus or commission, encashment of earned due, employer contribution to RPF, etc. Then 2 interest related. Interest to scheduled bank, interest to NBFC, PFC, etc. Then special provision which has been added is 43B within the bracket small h. First 8 items ಗೆ 131 due date. 43B H ಗೆ section 15 of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Act of 2006. Practically, what is paid within 31st March allowed. February end ಅಥವಾ March ಆದರೆ 45 days ಒಳಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ, say 10th March bill 10th April allow ಕೊಟ್ಟರು allow ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, because normally 45 days is the time as per section 15. This is special point ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? 43B 44 yeah 44AA books of account ಅದು ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 44AB ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೇಟ್, above 100 lakh business, above 200 lakh ಇಬಿಡಿದೆ 44AD ಕೇಸ್, above 300 lakh ಎಂದಿದೆ digital collection 95% and above ಅಥವಾ cash collection less than 5%. So digital collection as well as payment is more than 95%. 10 crore is the tax rate limit. 10 crore is the tax rate limit. Next, presumptive incomes 44 AD is resident individual HF firm excluding LLP. So turnover less than 200 lakh or 300 lakh in the digital cases, 2 RMRs. Collections up to due date, there is normally 31st July into 6%, into 6% plus balance amount into 8%. 44 Adda, a film T Aki, 50 lakh is the less gross receipt, or 75 lakh when you received cash collections less than equal to 5% into 50%. 44 AE, sorry, 44 ADA is resident individual or firm, excluding LLP. Okay. 44 AE, any SSC, 10, so you are owning less than equal to 10 goods carriage vehicle, heavy goods vehicle, 1,000 per month per ton miss mabide, or part of the months, other vehicles 7,500 per month or part of the month. Illi 44 AE nalli special point again, turnover is not important, and 44 AE ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ 40B reduction ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಿದೆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಿಸಂಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 44 AD 44 ಅಡ್ಡ 44 AE ನಲ್ಲಿ moment you offer lower, even if it is 1 lakh rupees income 50,000, you have to go for books of account and tax rate ಚಿನ್ನೈ. 44 ADA ಮತ್ತೆ AD ಅಲ್ಲಿ you have to offer go for books of account tax rate if it is above the BEL. 44 AD ನಲ್ಲಿ once you offer lower, current year plus next 5 years you cannot get inside. Books of account tax rate must. Then 44B, 44BB, 44 BBA, 44 triple B, SMAP, shipping, mineral or aircraft, foreign company. So non-resident case first 3, but the foreign company, aircraft lipstick, minimum income is 5%. Then ship only 7.5% you have to offer. Then other 2 cases 10%. ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಹೊಸ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, extremely careful. 44 BBC, if you are into a foreign ship being a cruise ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ 20% of the income to be offered of the turnover. Going good?
Sir.
ತೋರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ ಬಟ್ ರೀಸನಬಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. 33AB ನ 33ABA ನ ಈ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಚಂದನ್ ಅಥವಾ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 20% ಒಂದು ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೈಟ್ ರಿಸ್ಟೋರೇಷನ್ ಫಂಡ್ one minute breathing break.
33AB on this. ಅದು 33A ಮತ್ತೆ 33AB ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. 33AB ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. AB ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 33ABA ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಬಿಗ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ FB ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. 269 SS, 269 T. You should not accept loan or deposit at a time more than or equal to 20,000. Atava, Hijime had taken a loan from Uma, 4 lakh ಇದೆ, then 1 rupee also I cannot take by cash. Unlike Adi Rupa, 10,000 per day. Illi above 4 lakh, above 20,000, 1 rupee also I cannot take by cash. Same way repayment also same 20,000 limit. If you do any default, penalty will be levied equal to the amount of default. Whereas 269 ST is above 2 lakh rupees for a transaction or the event management, you cannot take by cash. Part 3 CB, construction contractor, POCM, you are supposed to follow. ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಡಿ. ಅದು ಕೊರೋನಾ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ 110%, 120% ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು, ಇದು ಬೇಡ, ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೋಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ 120% ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬೇಡ. 43 CA is equal to 50 CA ಸಾಕು. ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಬುಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ನಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನೋ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಸೊ 40B ನಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಬುಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಇದ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ 6 lakh ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿವಿಯಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ 6 lakh ಬುಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ 3 lakh or 90%, whichever is higher, whichever is higher. On the balance, it is 60% of the and the due date is 139/1. So you have to file the return by due date, 3 due date, 30th November for transfer pricing, report under 92E. Anybody, individual HF companies, 31st October for any audit, company, partnership forward, tax rate, including partner, any partner, working partner. ಈಗ ಎನಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಡಿಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 5A ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೈಫ್, ಓಕೆ, where salary income ಬಿಟ್ಟು everything add and divide by 2, salary income respective. And if they are also coming under the tax rate for the spouse, whoever is governed there also, for them also tax rate limit due date will be 31st October only. Everybody else 31st July. Whereas specified date, which is defined below 44AB, which is applicable for 44AB, 10AA, 80IA, etc. 1 month before the due date, that is before 30th November as well as before 31st October. 31st July before Barodilla, because they are not Kupa audit cases. 44 BBC note for important ado cruise. Okay, so non-resident cruise ಗೆ 20% is the income. Highest rate ಇದೆ, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ cruise ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಟ್ ತರಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಮಜಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಾರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋವಾದಲ್ಲಿ. 44C is the head office expenditure, especially Citibank having operations in India. So head office expenditure, normally 5% of the registered total income is allowed. Capital gain, a special session I had taken, but still worth going through once more. Transfer, okay, ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆದ, ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಥವಾ ವಿತೌಟ್ ದಟ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆದ? ನನಗೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ದಟ್. ಒನ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ವಿತೌಟ್
Without only, sir.
ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಏನೋ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಸಿ ಯುವರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್. ನೀವ್ಗೆ ಪಾಪ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ವಿತೌಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ವಿತೌಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. 2 within bracket 47, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಬೈ ಹ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಬೈ ಹ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಕೈಂಡ್, ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆನಪಡಿ, ಎಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ನೆನಪಡಿ. ಅದೊಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. ಕೇಳಿಸ ಚಂದನ್? ರೈಟ್, ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ರೈಟ್, ಸೊ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 1st February 2021, they are all called capital asset. Not a capital asset, ಯಾವುದು? ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ, ನಾನ್ ಅರ್ಬನ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ July 2024 and before. So if any transaction happening, there are 3 categories of STC. Loser, LUZ, 12 months. Less than or equal to 12 months. Held. Next, less than or equal to 24 months. So only 2 items. Unlisted share size and land building or both. Everything else less than or equal to 36 months. Till 22nd July 24. After 22nd July 24, you have got only two categories, 242A, lose the same 12 months. Everything else is 24 months. Aste. Yaudu. So jewelry 24 months, unlisted shares 24 months, LBB today. Lose remain 12 months. First point. Second point. Taxation. Up to 22nd July, for long-term capitalization, we had an indexation provision. Indexation. For every asset is available. After 23rd July 24, no indexation available. Only for resident, Chandan, resident individual and HF, and only for LBB, only for tax computation. So they can do with indexation, without indexation, whichever is ಹೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಐಆರ್ಎ ಇತ್ತು ಐಆರ್ಐ ಹೆಂಗ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು
Beneficial.
ಲೆಸ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ whichever is less ಅದು only for individual resident individual HF and after 23rd July 24 sale purchase should have been happened before purchase takes place after 23rd July 24 this provision is not applicable. Okay, so you can get a whichever is less ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ individual HF ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಂದನ್ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ individual ಮತ್ತೆ HF ಇರಬೇಕು. Yes, only for resident individual HF, right? Next, tax rates. Short term, so before 23rd July, so 111A, that is equity share UIF units of business trust listed subject to STT, 15%. 112A, 10% after realizing 1 lakh. Whereas all other capital gains under section 112, 20%. 23rd July and onwards, 111A has been increased to 20%. 112A has been increased to 12.5% with the relaxation of 1.25 lakh. So now partly happens in June, partly happens in December. Then 1,25,000 aggregate. There's a clarification. So you can give for 1,25,000. Next, other LTCG 112, 12.5% as of now. 12.5% for everything from 23rd July 25. Clear? Right. Highly important, highly expected question. This classification. Charging section go through Madi 45.1, 45.1A. 45.1A insurance money received, 45.1B ULIP received, 45.5 compensation. All the three are on receipt basis. Everything else is a accrual basis. 45.2 is also important. 45.2 is conversion of capital asset to stock in trade. 28.6A is ulta, stock in trade into capital asset. Capital asset into stock in trade ಮಾಡುವಾಗ only in the year of actual sales, two incomes arise. Whereas conversion of stock in trade into capital asset ಮಾಡುವಾಗ conversion year only business income and ultimately sale ಆದಾಗ it is a capital gain under section 28 which is the bracket 6A. Next, 45.5A only for individual and HF. So joint development agreement, okay, in the year in which the completion certificate is obtained. So stamp value plus consideration received minus cost shall be the capital gain, and also tedious provisions attracted irrespective of monetary limit. Buyback budget again what I know already. But again, gold EGR, electronic gold receipt. Gold ಅನ್ನ EGR ಅಂತ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, EGR ಅನ್ನ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, it is not a transfer. So the period of holding of sale of any of this includes preceding asset also. I had gold earlier, converted to EGR, electronic gold receipt. So period of holding when I sell EGR, or gold if I sell, so then include everything, then accordingly decide whether the long term or short term. Then indexation, previous year 100, for your previous year 363. That is the 24-25 previous year for all of you. 50AA specified mutual fund. This is amendment ಆಗಿದೆ. Okay, so there is a change in the amendment. So ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. Anything more than 65% if you invest, it is called equity oriented fund. Is less than equal to 35% ಇದ್ದಾಗ it is called specified mutual fund. In between no categorization. It is general mutual fund. So mutual specified mutual fund acquired on or after 1/4 whereas market linked debentures acquired any time, okay, comes under 50AA. Capital gain is always going to be short term. Important. 50B highly important again. 50B is slump sale. when an unit undertaking is sold without assigning values to individual assets and liabilities. So, actual sale consideration or fair market value of the individual net asset, whichever is higher, less net worth. Net worth is equal to assets minus external liability. Assets 3 RMRs. Depreciable asset WDV under 43.6. 35 AD asset nil. Any other asset considered the book value. Any other liability book value. Revaluation impact has to be excluded in income tax. Net worth computed. Differential amount is long term if the undertaking was held for more than 36 months. Even today, the 36 months is applicable. Ali, technically 24 months ಬರಬೇಕು 24 July ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 23 July ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, but long term. Otherwise, it is going to be short term, no indexation. 50C in the case of LBB, 50C, 43CA in the case of real estate business, 56-10 gift income. Land, building or both. Consideration is, so 3 steps. Step number 1. Date of agreement and date of registration of sale deed does not coincide. Then consider stamp value on the date of agreement. 2 conditions are required. At least some amount should have been received on or before the date of agreement, and it should have been received by digital mode. Digital mode ಅಲ್ಲಿ example ಬರ್ರಿ. Digital mode ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಯಾವುದು? ಕಮೋಡಾ, digital, ಆರ್ತಿ, account pay check, account pay draft or ECS. Then second step is, once you decide the date, what is the date to be considered? So section 50C comes into picture. Step 2 is actual consideration into 110%. If the stamp value is lesser, then ignore 50C. Otherwise, you have to consider. So I repeat, actual consideration 300 lakh into 110%, 330 lakh. If stamp value is 325, badbege next step. If it is 340 lakh, go to 50C. Next step is consideration is actual consideration of stamp value, whichever is higher. This figure of stamp value, whichever is less. Okay. Actual consideration of stamp value, whichever is higher. This figure of the valuation officer, if it is referred under section 55A, whichever is less. Minimum should be actual consideration. However, one special point I told you, valuation officer refer ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ if it falls below 110%. Extremely dangerous example. Revision class ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. Actual consideration 300 lakh. Stamp value 400 lakh. Whichever is higher to 400. Valuation officer says 325 lakh. Whichever is less is 325. 325 lakh is less than 110%. 300 lakh is the consideration. ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತದೆ ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಿ, ಸುಭಿಕ್ಷಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ. Then 51, advance money forfeited before 1/4/2014 reduced from the actual cost. Otherwise, it is income from other source now. Exemptions 54 is transfer of long-term RHP, invest in another RHP in India. Capital gain invested should not be more than 10 crores. Amendment ಆಗಿದ್ದು 10 crores. However, if you are purchasing 2 houses in India, once in lifetime, maximum 2 crores. 54B, Bhumi, transfer of urban agriculture land. Non-urban agriculture land is not a capital asset. Invest in any agriculture land in India, you will get any amount of exemption, short term or long term. 54D, land, build, and compulsory acquisition. Then whatever the capital gain arising, invest in another land building. All the sections here, transfer can be by any mode, including compulsory acquisition. 54D get compulsory acquisition then exemption given. 54EC, any transfer of long-term LBE, that capital gain if you invest in 4 bonds, NHAI, National Highway Authority of India bonds, Nikita, then RECL, then what is PFCL and IRFCL. Okay, you will get maximum exemption of 50 lakh. 54F, long-term capital asset other than RHP, invest the net sale consideration in RHP in India. Net sale consideration invested should not be more than 10 crore. Capital gain alla, note ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Net sale consideration invested should not be more than Supernander Chetra Orkodra. So should not be more than 10 crore. Then you will get proportionate exemption calculation ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Illu 10 crore maximum. Illu one more special condition. On the date of transfer, you should not own more than 1+1 residential house property. Commercial house property is to better important. 54G, Gaon Chale Jana. So, if you are shifting your industrial undertaking Kuppa High from urban area to non-urban area, and if you are selling the assets in urban area, land, building, plant, machinery, or the right in land or building, that amount if you invest in the similar asset in a village, plus expense on shifting other asset, furniture, etc., exemption available. 54 GA, urban to SCZ exemption. 54H. So I sold property, there is a compulsory acquisition of a residential house property. So 54 exemption burden. But a consideration is received only after 4 years. Then the time limit of 1 year, 3 years, etc., will be reckoned from the date of receipt. 55 is the definition. This is a charge, taxation. Other source, gift income, 56 to 10. Received by any person, from any person, except 918 matra. So monetary gift illi cash gift above 50,000, LBB stamp value minus Z above 50,000. Then BVZ pass. Okay, virtual digital asset, be careful. Okay, BVZ pass, fungible token, etc. Fair market value minus Z above 50,000 is taxable. And dividend area to ಇದು just ನಾವು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ? Clubbing, others income will be added. So CME plus H. So incomes, CME plus H, tax at flat 60% plus 25%, effectively 78%. Unabsorbed allowances 32 to 35 or 3219. Any number of years adjusted against any income except salary. 73A, 35 AD, unabsorbed capex. Carry forward for any number of years, adjust only against 14 years. Any other loss. House property, current year against any other head of income, maximum 2 lakh. Carry forward for 8 years. Next, new regime bandaga, 2 lakh carry forward sigodilla, but deemed to have been what you call carried. Very important. NPDA, new regime, 2 lakh sigodilla, but deemed to have been what you called allowed. 10 lakh carry forward loss is there. 2 lakh new regime direction sigodilla, but 8 lakh only you can carry forward. Next, business only. Normal business loss can be carried forward for 8 years. Salary adjust speculation loss 4 years. Race loss 4 years. Short-term capital loss against short-term and long-term. Long-term only against the long-term. Other source set off is possible. No carry forward except 74A. Next, 72A, 72AA, 72AB are amalgamation demerger related problem. Extremely important. Whereas amalgamation adaga, so the losses to be carried forward are only unabsorbed allowances any number of years and only business loss, nothing else. So now B Limited had a loss, business loss. Each year, if it gets merged with the A Limited, each year the business loss can be registered against capital gain also. It is like a year of setup. Plus next 8 years carry forward if it is the amalgamation. Demerger only balance year proportionated to the net asset transfer can be carried forward. Extremely important. Section 75, firm's loss can be carried forward only by firm. 78, whenever there is a change in the constitution, if it is inheritance, it can be carried forward, whereas otherwise it cannot be carried forward. Partnership firm only, Kanda. So if there are 3 partners, X dies, deceased author retires, his share cannot be carried forward. Again, section 79, highly important. So if it is a X company, not less than 51% of the shareholders on the last day of the previous year of loss should have been the shareholder on the last day in which carry forward. Whereas if it is 80 IAC case, all the shareholders, 51% Allah, so should continue to be there. The last day Allah continue to be there. So with some exception when you transfer to relative, etc. Next, 79A, okay, so survey seasonal adaga, important again, you cannot carry forward. Return of loss, section 80, you cannot carry forward the losses if you have not filed the return within 131 due date. However, exception, unabsorbed allowances and house property loss. Chapter 6A, plans barcode, go through Madi, 91 important. ATC 1,50,000 contribution, ATCC, ATCCD 1 put together 1,50,000. ATCCD very crucial. Employer contribution 14% agide. even other than the central government, state government. Okay. Otherwise, it is 10%. Next, ETCCDB extra 50,000 rupees. Then ETCCH, ETCCD2 new regime ಅಲ್ಲಿ 115 BSc ನಲ್ಲಿ. So the 5 slabs ಇದೆ. So ETCCD2 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ETCCH2 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ETJJA. These are the 3 directions ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Whereas AMT ನಲ್ಲಿ add back ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, so all these expenses are, so you have to add back only chapter 6CAC income based deduction. ETP ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ETJJA. ಫುಲ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು? ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಏನ್ ಬಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಸುಭಿಕ್ಷಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾವೆ. ಇರ್ಲಿ. ETD 25,000 plus 50,000 plus 50,000. DD dependent disability flat deduction irrespective of the amount spent. Severe ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1,25,000, otherwise 75,000. Dependent Bimari 40,000 ಮತ್ತೆ 1 lakh seniors. ETE education loan ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so Lipika is not my blood relative. If I act as a legal guardian for her, so then in that case, she is considered relative for this purpose. Education loan interest for next 8 years allowed as a reduction. ETEEE old 50,000. EEA housing loan taken between 19 to 22 for maximum 1,50,000. ET electricity EEB is electric vehicle. In correction ಮಾಡ್ರಪ್ಪ ದೇವರು 2023 ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದೇನು 2020 ಅಂತಿದೆ. Loan sanction between 2019 to 2023. Okay. So electric vehicle ಗೆ extra 1,50,000 2023 change ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡಿ. ETG without limit, with limit. ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಬನ್ನಿ. With limit ಅಂದ್ರೆ 10% of the registered total income. Normal income, no special income. 111, 112 ಗೆ chapter 6 ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Less all the reductions under chapter 6, that is 10%, 2 RMS. 100% reduction for IOA, Indian Organization, local authority. Am I clear in my communication?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear in my communication?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
To catch 90%, 100% of the new devaru, now devaru, is to beg a better. So for 90% you are able to catch,
Yes.
especially those who are writing
Yes,
it shortly. Yes. So, how section?
ATG.
EDG.
G.
So, IOA, but local authority for family planning. So, other than family planning, local authority, 50%, cash foundation, etc., 50%. Now, coming to without limit, so, only 50% ಒಂದೇ item, PM drought relief fund, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ರಾಜೀವ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ, ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಯಾರು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ 100%. ಯಾವುದು ಕಾರ್ಗಿಲ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ವಚ್ಛ ಭಾರತ್ ಕೋಶ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಗಂಗಾ ಯೋಜನೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಎನಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ 100%. Donation in cash up to 2,000 permitted, about 2,000 not permitted, and donation in kind no. EDJJA extremely important. 44 ABSSEs, you will get additional wages 30% for 3 consecutive years, but subject to certain conditions. 240 days plus working ಇರಬೇಕು, 180 days, 150 days for AFL, apparels, footwear ಅಥವಾ leather industry ಗೆ 150 days is considered. QQB 3 lakh rupees for royalty, then patents ಗೆ 3 lakh rupees. If you yourself is having a disability, similar provisions of ATD D is applicable, 75,000 whatever. ETLA offshore ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಲೈಕ್ 10% ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. SB ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅದರ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ETTTA ಕೊಡಬೇಕು 10,000. ವೆರಸ್ ETTTB is for resident senior citizen, FD and what you call SB interest. ATM intercorporate dividend received to the extent what is distributed by me shall be allowed as a reduction. ATIA ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ go through ಮಾಡಿ. Same way 10AA. SCZ units sige, first 5 years 100%, next 5 years 50%, last 5 years reserve out of 50%, whichever is less. Specified date ಒಳಗೆ, okay, you should have submitted the report. International taxation, section 9090A. When there is an agreement between two countries, ಅಥವಾ agreement between two approved association, then either there is an exemption in one country or there is a tax credit method. 91, when there is no agreement, so you have to compute the normal tax, including the foreign income, less relief under section 91, 2 RMRs, foreign tax rate or average rate of tax, whichever is less. Recent revision ಅದನ್ನು go through ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಒಮ್ಮೆ go through ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನನಗೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಯರ್ಫೋನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮೊನ್ನೆ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್. ದೆನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ 92A, associated enterprise, MCC, management control ಅಥವಾ capital, plus 92A2 there are 13 cases of associated enterprise you have to buy hard. Then international transaction, 1 rupee also lead to transfer pricing, whereas 92BA is specified domestic transaction only if it is above 20 crores, it attracts domestic transfer pricing. 92C use list of 5+1 methods of computation of arm's length price. Then 92E is about a report to be submitted by 31st October. Another specified data. And then due data, specified data. Report. Specified data is better. This one tappide 1 month before you better. Just check mark it. Cross check mark it. Okay. Right.
1 month before 31st October.
Huh?
Transfer pricing cases, sir. 31st.
Transfer pricing. Okay. Report shall be correct. 31st October. It being 1 month before, correct. So it should be submitted by specified date. Correct. Specified date is 31st October. You are right. Sorry. Then taxation of companies. Normal tax rate for foreign companies 35%. Full stop. 35%. Investment area 35%. Yes. Domestic companies. Turnover 2 previous year BCD. 24-25 -2. 2023 less than equal to 400 crore. It is a 25% with all benefits. Otherwise 30%. Otherwise undergoing all the benefits, 10AA benefit, 35AD benefit, the additional benefit forgo money. 115 bar is 25% for domestic manufacturing company. 115 bar is 22% for any domestic company. 115 Babu is for domestic manufacturing company, 15%. Similar provision for cooperative societies. Normally up to 10,000, 10%. Nillalla. 10,000 to 20,000, 20%. About 20,000, 30%. Then 115 BAD, 22%. 115 BAE, new manufacturing cooperative society, 15%. So similar provision here also. Same way, MAT provision under 115 JB for any company is 15%. Whereas AMT is 18.5%, but for cooperative societies, it is 15%. So, ella kade cooperative society has been given a recognition like a company. And MAT and AMT, 9% if the unit is in IFSC, International Financial Service Center. 115 BAC for 5 slab SSCs. Yaro, individual HF, AOP, BY, AJP, then ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ SSCಗೆ 3 lakh into ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದವರು, ಬಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅಪ್ ಟು 3 lakh ನೀವು ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೂ ನ್ಯೂ ರಿಜಿಮ್ಗೂ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಆರ್ಡಲ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ, ಹಾರ್ಡಲ್ ಟು ವೆಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೇಟ್. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು 3 lakh ನಿಲ್ 369 ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟಿಂಕರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 7 lakh. 3 lakh, 7 lakh, then 10 lakh, 12 lakh, 15 lakh. So you have to go with 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. Above 15 lakh, 30%, no 25% slab. Clear? And they should forgo all the benefits. The regular notes on the chart is there. Adana go through money. Yes. Income tax authority starting with the CBDT, CIT, Commissioner of Income, etc. ITAT is not an income tax authority. Then the search, seizure, power, etc. under 131, 132, glance ಮಾಡಿ. Assessment procedure. Assessment is ಇದು individual HF, etc. before claiming 10AA, before claiming 54, etc. If it is above BEL, they have to find the ITR. In addition to these provisions, you should also go through. If you are deposited in a current account above 100 lakh, SB account above 50 lakh, electricity expense above 1 lakh, foreign travel expense above 2 lakh, TDS, TCS above 25,000, for a senior citizen above 50,000, you have to file the return, irrespective of whether you are covered under the other provisions or not. 139.3 ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಸುದೀಕ್ಷಾ ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 113.4 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ 113.3 ಲಾಸ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್, 4 and 5 belated return and revised return to be filed within 31st December of the AY or completion of estimate, whichever is earlier. 139.9 is a defective return when you don't submit the information, etc. And then again, 139.8 separate ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ. 139.8A update return ಇರಬೇಕು. 8A update return. So normally 31st December of the AY into beyond return file ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. However, so update return ಗೆ assessment year ಬಿಟ್ಟು 2 more years you can file the return within next 2 years. If you are filing within first year of that eligible, 25% tax plus surcharge, etc. Whereas second year ಆದರೆ 50% is to pay. Normal ITR ಜೊತೆಗೆ you should file 148 tax return, tax paid. Even if you are not paid the tax, it is not a defective return. Whereas updated return, you are filing but you are not paying the tax on the 140B, it is going to be a defective return. Highly expected question on defective return 140B. Again, so Aadhaar linked PAN, etc. So earlier quoting Aadhaar enrollment number, okay, in the name of PAN application was sufficient. 110 idon date change agide. From 110 date this provision is withdrawn. Who has to sign the return, etc. Glance ಮಾಡಿ. Assessment 143 I love you ಅಂದ್ರೆ assessment ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಮ್ದು. ಫುಲ್ ಐ ಲವ್ ಯು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಸೊ ಯಾರು 143 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಓದಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. 144 ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫೈಲ್ ದ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫರ್ನಿಶ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಓಕೆ ವಿತ್ ದ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ, ಅಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. 144C DRP dispute resolution panel reference. 147 read with 148 income escaping assessment. 148A ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. Again, search seizure block assessment time limit also 2 years back ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಮೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 21 months ಇಂದ 18 months ಆಗಿದೆ, 18 months ಇದ್ದು 12 months ಗೆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 154 is important. Rectification of mistake apparent on the tenor of the instruments can be rectified so by the assessing officer. 156 is notice of demand. Chapter 14B, there is a new chapter from 1st September. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಡೇಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಟೈಯ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಸೀಸರ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಗೆ, ಸೊ ದರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು there can be taxation of the undisclosed income. Okay, so where 60% is normally the rate applicable for all the special cases of search season. Important. 1st September is the date. 1st September. Mainly 1st October ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ, 1st September, but 23rd July. TDS TCS rates ಅನ್ನ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ 222F deemed dividend ಗೂ ಈಗ ಬೈಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗೂ TDS ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So this is what I said. Most of the cases ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5% has become 2% from 110. Yeah. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 184 IB ನಲ್ಲಿ, okay, 184 IB ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಇಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ IA ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡೋ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ. 184 IA ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನಾವು. ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಗೆ. 184 IA ನಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಸೊ 50 lakh or more, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಉಮಾ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 50 lakh ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 10,000 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 50 lakh or more ಒಂದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಐದರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೈಯರ್, ಅದು 2 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಬೈಯರ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್, ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ 20 lakh ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ 35 lakh ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ 55 lakh ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ 184 IA ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 1% ಬೈ ದ ಬೈಯರ್, 1 ಬೈಯರ್ ಅದು ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. 184 IC ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈಡ್ JDA 10%, ಇಲ್ಲಿ JDA ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. 184 J ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, 4 items ಗೆ 30,000 ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇದೆ. ರಾಯಲ್ಟಿ, FTS, ದೆನ್ 28(5A) ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು 30,000 ಇಲ್ಲ. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ 182 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ್ ದನ್ ದಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ₹1 you should do the TDS. Second point is FTS royalty related to films, then call center ಗೆ 2%, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ 10%. 184N, one more important section, is about ನನ್ನ ಕಾಸು ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 184M ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ 5% ಇದೆ, 2% ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 184N. So if you are withdrawing more than 100 lakh, you need to do the TDS at 2%. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ITR defaulters ಗೆ 20 lakh ಇದೆ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That also you take care. ಈಗ 184O again 1% was there, 110 ಇಂದ 0.1% ಆಗಿದೆ. 184P is a special provision. You are a resident 75 years and above, பெரிய ஆளு, then and you are not having any income other than pension and the bank interest in the same bank, then bank itself will do the TDS, no return to be filed. Then 184Q and 206C 1H 0.1% ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 184R perquisite, 184S VDA, then 184T ಮಿಸ್ ಆದಂಗಿದೆ ಚಂದನ್. 184T partners payment, okay, that TDS also should be covered. Yeah. 206C 1G extremely important, highly expected question. ಅದನ್ನ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾನು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ. Then advance tax 10,000 or more, 10,000 or more, again ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, more than 10,000 10,000 or more ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇಬಲ್ ಲೆಸ್ TDS. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ 10,000 or more ಇದೆ advance tax must, but not applicable if you are a resident senior citizen not having a business income. Resident senior citizen. Next, advance tax has to be paid in 4 installments. June 15th, September 15th, December, March. 15% plus 30% plus 30%, last 100%. However, first two cases 12% ಮತ್ತು 30% ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ you don't have 234C. If you have paid lesser than that, based on 15% and 45% only, 234C has to be paid. 44AD and 44ADA ಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು installment 100% by 15th March. If you return, if you delay the return, 234A 1% per month, 234F fees of 5,000. If total income is below 5 lakh, 1,000. 234B, 90% of the tax should have been paid by 31st March. Otherwise, April is the 1% per month. 234C, shortfall in advance tax, 1% per month. 234D, government gives by mistake excess refund, 0.5%. 234E to H is the fees. TDS return delay, 234E, 200 per day. 234F, fees I said for ITR. 234G, 35 ಅಥವಾ ETG, if you don't file the return certificate, 200 per day. 234H, Aadhaar related, 1,000 rupees is the fees. Yes, MAT provisions. So if you are any company, Indian ಅಥವಾ foreign company, so you have to consider the book profit as per the books of account, plus 14 plus 1 item minus 13 plus 1 item plus 15 items. ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಬೈ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮೈನಸ್ 13 plus 1 item. Additionally 115 GB explanation 2A to be India's related provision ಇದೆ, including adjustment for transitional adjustment, transition amount ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. So provision is 15%, but however I said IFSC ಗೆ 9%. MAT credit, if the normal tax is, let's say, 10 lakh, MAT tax comes to 15 lakh. So MAT is more than MAT applicable. So MAT minus 10 lakh is going to be MAT paid to be carried forward for next 15 years. Similar in the case of AMT also. MAT is based on the book profit, but AMT is based on the total income. Normal total income is the normal tax. Our total income add back 3 items. 10AA, Chapter 6A C, income based deduction, ಮತ್ತೆ 35AD ಲೆಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 32 ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಡಿಷನ್ ಡಿಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ 18.5%, ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೈಯರ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ AMT ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. However, for 5 slab SSCs, if adjusted total income is less than equal to 20 lakh, you don't have to go for AMT, apply ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. And if you are coming under the new regime 115 BSc, AMT apply ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಂತಲ್ಲಿ. Yeah. Reports. MAT report 29B L form number, whereas 29C form number is for EMT report by a chartered accountant within the specified date. Shipping company tonnage income, ಅದನ್ನು by heart ಮಾಡಿ qualifying shipping you are supposed to offer based on the net tonnage, deal income has to be offered like this. ಅದನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ glance ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 245A to 245M. 245M, A to M is about settlement commission. So, whereas 245N to 245V is advance ruling. Advance ruling is mainly non-resident when he has some clarity about the income tax position. He can give an application, then his advance for authority reading will give an writing or order portal that is binding. Settlement commission is if the case is pending and the normal case, if you are ready to offer about 10 lakh tax, whereas such Caesar case is above 50 lakh rupees, then settlement commission will accept the, your application and they may settle. Charitable trust already. Tax on accrued income is available. Appeals. So, question of fact, question of law. CIT appeals question of fact. Then you have to go to ITIT. That is the ultimate. If it is a question of law, you can go to High Court and Honorable Supreme Court level. Honorable Supreme Court decision is the law, and if there is a contradicting decision, you have to go by the larger bench, irrespective of whether the old or new, with the equal size, to go by the latest. Matte, again, 234 ABC, interest and penalty, and 234 ABC repeat agide, because you can avoid it. It's already tala. 234 A to H. Penalty clauses, 270 capital A, adon repeat code, 270 capital A. Yeah. If there is an under-reporting, penalty will be 50%. If there is a misreporting, penalty will be 200% of the tax payable. Penalty projects, plans by tax rates, slabs, ICDS is applicable for accrual method of accounting for business as well as other sources. ICDS 1 to 10, they are similarly worded like AS. AS1, ICDS 1, AS2, ICDS 2. Adadmele, the numbers are 7 to 13 consecutively existing number. Then 16 is ICDS Roman number 9. And last standard of ICA is the last standard ICDS 10. Grandfathering provision 55 subsection 2, which is the bracket AC, for any listed equity shares acquired on or before 1st February 2018, then you have to go for grandfathering provision. Extremely important. Then insurance ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ULIP ಅಥವಾ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಡೆತ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಂಪ್ಟ್. ULIP before 1st February 2021 or code is maturity also fully exempt. ULIP issued on or after 1st February 2021, aggregate premium above 2,50,000. At our normal insurance policy, if the premium is less than equal to 10% policy amount, it is exempt. 15% for special ability case. However, if the insurance premium paid, insurance policy is issued on or after 1/4/2023, ULIP ಗೆ 1st February 21, whereas ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟುಪಿಡ್ 21 ಏಜ್ ಇದೆ, ಏಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ULIP 1st February 21, ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ ಶುರುವಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಲಿಪಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ULIP ಅದು ಡೇಟ್. ವೆರಸ್ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ 2 ವರ್ಷ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಲೈಫ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇನ್ಸೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 1/4/2023 aggregate exceeding 5 lakh. So if there is received on a maturity, death alla, both are taxable similarly, but normal insurance policy income from other source 56/213, ULIP is under section 45(1)(b) capital gain. Amount received minus total premium paid which was not allowed earlier as allowed as a reduction, and the balance amount is fully taxable at IFRS capital gain. VDA taxation 247 yearly VDA definition is there. 115 BBHL, it's taxable at 30%. Extremely important. All the deductions tax rates ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೇನಪ್ಪ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಪಾ. Agriculture income, then 33AB, then party agriculture income, then partial integration. Taxation of capital gain, chart ಬಂದಿದೆ. Disclaimer. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk, blah, blah, blah. Budget 24, amendments ಅನ್ನ go through ಮಾಡಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ. ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡ. ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ದೆನ್ 222 ಬೈಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ದೆನ್ 242A ಆಯಿತು. 1040 ಟೈಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಗ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ MCQ ಓಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. 1050 ಅದು ಲಿಕ್ವಲೇಷನ್ ಲೆವಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಯರ್. ಯಾವುದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಷನ್ 12AC 1023C ಅರ್ಥ ಆದರೆ ನನಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 36 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ 14% ETCCD. ದೆನ್ 40 ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ 6 lakh ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. Then 44 BBC in the new section, 20% for cruise. Mutual fund definition, SMF. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ. $148A time limit notice important. 158 ಅಲ್ಲ. ನ್ಯೂಲಿ ರೀಡ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಓದೋದು ಬೇಡ, ವರ್ಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಹಾಳಾಗೋದು, ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಾಕಿ ಸಾಕು. ಉಳಿದು ತೆಗಿಯಪ್ಪ ಅನ್ವಾಂಟೆಡ್. PDS rates. This is the question. Suggested answer in your. We already discussed this in the recently concluded revision class. ಅದನ್ನು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಕ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಒಂದು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ದ ವೇ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್. ನಾವು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್, ನೆನಪಿದ್ಯಾ? ಸೊ ಐ ನಾಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಟೈಮ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಲಿಂಕ್. ಇದು ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ರೆ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ತಂದನ. ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ DT ಮಾಡೋ DT, ID ಮಾಡೋ IDT, IBS ಮಾಡೋ IBS. ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ 10 days ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಡಿ. ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ with the explanation ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. MAT, AMT, capital gains around 6 to 10 marks, TDS, TCS, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ provisions are extremely important. So RTP must minimum 20 marks. Then DT revision section to go through ಮಾಡಿ, extremely crucial. Do's and don'ts, same thing what we are told for all other sections. Class ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಿ. Analysis of November 24 question paper. So almost similar okay question ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ anonymous donation ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ. ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಸ್, ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. DT you can start with the first question, one question reject. So 145 to 2 read the question paper, then 2 to 210 okay, fill the data blah 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 and scribbling something in the last page. Okay, then 210 to 310 okay, 330. So ನಿಮಗೆ 1 or 20 3 questions which should include compulsorily first question. Start with the first question. Then 330 to 415 go with MCQ. Then 415 to 450 next two descriptive question. 450 to 5 o'clock whatever you unanswered ಅಥವಾ unticked ಮಾಡಿ. ನನ್ನ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ 1 minute ಮೊದಲೇ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. Next batch is going to start for CFL from October, not November. Thanks to CS to changing to 3. Thank you for being there. Super ಆಗಿದೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವರ್ತ್. 1.5 hour ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಇನ್ನು 10-20 minutes ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ 8-10 ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯೋರಿಗೆ 90% ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಉಳಿದವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 40 to 50% ಹೋಗಿರ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸಾಕು. ಎಸ್, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ಕ್? IDT also, present batch people also attend, IBS also you attend. Okay. So thank you so much. God bless you. Must maja ಮಾಡಿ. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to ask you how was the paper ಎಲ್ಲ. Just to tell you, I'm not going to ask you. I asked. Okay. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಬೇಡಿ. Just write. Just go and write. Give your best shot. That's it. Exam standard, easy, tough. Just go and give your best shot and enjoy. Just 3 more exams.